ferment is always a lacto-fermentation process. So we just use a good quality mineral salt. And let me show you the one that I like. Alright, real salt, just a mineral salt, nothing that is iodized, okay? So, good salt. This is made by Redmond's. And if you know anything about like my horse background, Redmond salt, the first I ever knew of it, they make these huge salt blocks for livestock, for the horses. So people come in and get these huge salt blocks, and because the horses need minerals too. A lot of them, they're not on pastures, so they're not eating, foraging off of the dirt and getting good soil into their diet. So we supplement them with salt too. And we need good salt also, but we really need good salt for fermenting food, so we can grow lots of beneficial bacteria for our guts and make it happy. Now, this was like, I think 12 lemons, so I just cut them into quarters. I'm going to drop that in the sink so that I have room. Now, I'm going to sprinkle all of these lemons. Sorry, I'll bring them back up so you can see. Alright, I'm sprinkling all of these lemons with salt. So, when I say 12 lemons, it's a lot of lemons cut into corners. I put this measuring cup is a third. That's like half of that. Alright, and then I'll use a little bit more salt in a saltwater bath to give them. So, here goes the salt. Sprinkle that salt all over them. They're going to get plenty of this salt as I stuff them into the jar, so don't worry about getting them all done. So since I'm going to be stuffing those lemons into this big 1 liter jar, I'm not worried too much about spreading all that salt around. I'm just going to take my lemons and start dropping them in. For the ones that, I'm going to put smaller ones in that 32-ounce jar. So small lemons, big lemons. I'm not just going to put them all in at one time. I've got to crush these up. So these lemons, they're going to have a different smell when they're done. They're going to not be very sweet anymore. They'll be tangy and a little bit sour even. So before I get that tube filled up, in a big mouth jar, I'm going to put my whole fist in there and shove those lemons down, alright? So if you want to get some aggression, hey, a cat just went by. An RT. I'm going to start to dip those lemons down into the middle. So I'm packing them in. I'm also letting them release a lot of their juice. Okay? If you have a more narrow jar, I use a pickle pusher. Okay guys, this is not a professional pickle pusher. This is a foot roller turned to a different purpose. Now it's a pickle pusher. But anyway, I can't get my fist in there, so I'm going to shove this guy down in there and crush my lemons up. It's going to get the juice out of them, and it's going to give me more room to shove more lemons in. Okay? Shove away. Let's go. If I can't fit these in both, I'll just use more jars. So these are already salty. Just throwing them in there. And then, when you're ready, get your fist back in there. Oh yeah. You want all of the salty lemon juice to rise above these lemons before you put the jar's lid on. Alright, so just shove them down. You can start to see all that juice. Salty juice. And let me tell you, a salty, fresh lemon like this tastes really good. Especially an orange. So if you're doing oranges, do the same exact thing. You need citrus here, grapefruit, if you want. Oh, those are small. I'll put them in the other one. Small ones in there, big ones in here. But if you do oranges, and salty orange, it's so good. It's tasty. So what I do with the salty fermented lemons, and I'll show you, I already have a lot of these already going. One of my clients likes to give me bunches of lemons, and I'm like, I don't really need them because I ferment them which means I have lemons all the time. So I was like, I don't really need any more, but he gave them to me anyway. So now you get a video of fermenting lemons, since I have a ton of lemons to ferment. And if you know me, if you're local, you know where to find me. And if you want lemons, fermented yummy lemons, I will give them to you. So you can use these fermented lemons to cook with. You can use them just to put into your water. You can drink just the juice itself as a probiotic juice. So any fermented food is a probiotic food. That means the bacteria that grew in there is bacteria that likes to live in our gut, in our intestines. Those guys break down food for us. They help us digest food before and after it already gets absorbed through our small intestine. Alright, we got lots of lemons here. Lots and lots of lemons. So, I'm just going to finish off the big jar, because that will take me less time. But just keep shoving. Get your fist in there. Ooh, get your body weight. It's coming. We're almost there. Put some more. Fill, fill, fill. Don't fill it too high. You want a little bit of head space at the top. So about the whole top of the jar, we'll leave that empty with just air. Fist in there again. Getting harder. Woo! Liquid's rising up. Yes, that's a good thing. Yes! Doing this will give you some good muscles. Some good muscles. Work to prepare this food. But you know what? Then it's there and it's done for you. I don't have to do this all the time because this food lasts. Anytime you put a ferment in the refrigerator is going to stop the fermentation process. So your fermented food always wants to be at around 74, 76 degrees or so. So if you live in a hot place like San Fernando Valley like I do, you might have to run your air conditioning a little bit more if you are fermenting in the summer. Now I can't get much of my fist in there, so I'm just squeezing the lemons and getting them in there. Now that jar is full. I want to try to get all the lemons under the juice. When you ferment anything, try to get it completely submerged, okay? Alright, that jar is done. I can ferment those as long as I want. I've got jars in there that have been fermenting for like 3 months. I use them slowly. I put a slice in my water, I put a slice in my juicer to make my juices, and or just drink the brine. Guzzle, guzzle. Alright, let me find the lid, and this baby's done. Alright, so I will ferment those 7 to 10 days is the least. But otherwise, ferment them as long as you want. I mean, you're going to use them. You can cook with them, put them in your water, drink the brine, put the whole rind into the juicer. Yum! It's good stuff, guys. So they are going to ferment for a long time because I have so many lemons. All right. Thanks for watching this video. Get your ferment on. See you later.